Well, we got into Birdsville pub yesterday afternoon, and we were so busy preparing the vehicles for this next adventure, we didn't even have time for a beer.
We're off to the Channel Country, the not very often explored western side of Queensland. Come and join us.
To see episode 4, The Channel Country, DustemUp.tv. We start this DustemUp episode in the world-famous town of Birdsville. This kind of adventure is one of my all-time favourites. Big miles, glorious views, and plenty of wheel time. From Birdsville, we'll be heading east to explore the Channel Country, the not often explored far western region of Queensland. This is the real outback.
Channel Country. It's flat. It's so flat, which is why it drills a few channels, obviously. I guess the big thing about the Channel Country is the surprises you get along the way. Hey guys, I'm really looking forward to this. It's funny, isn't it? You know, like so many people leave Brisbane and the outback doesn't really start for them until they get to Birdsville. And yet there's all that beautiful western country in between. Let's go have a look at it.
That's exactly right, mate. So let's go and showcase it.
Yeah, like you said, guys, we just bang straight through it normally, and you know, I can't wait to get in there and discover new things.
I think we're in for some adventure. What do you reckon, Gleno?
Looking forward to seeing the transition from this landscape to where we're going to head. This is exciting stuff. Can't wait to set up, hopefully on a creek bed somewhere with a nice green, grassy campsite.
All right, let's get there. Channel Country sounds like should be full of channels and country. The Birdsville Road to Batuta, it's in fairly good condition, and they actually had a grader on it at the time as we were going through, and a couple of water trucks, which helps out a lot. They're getting ready for the Birdsville races, I believe. But yeah, it's like sort of driving on Mars. You've just got little pebbles, there's no trees. It's like you're on a different planet.
It was dry. You would never know that it was only a few weeks earlier that they had floods out here. The place dries up that quick, the water just soaks through the ground.
If you want to get a sense for the in-between stage between the city and the desert, it's the Channel Country.
Anyway, we made it to Batuta, hoping the pub was reopened.
There was no one there, total ghost town, so we had a bit of a look around.
But no, it wasn't ready yet. I was looking forward to a nice cold ale off the tap there.
I believe that it's going to be reopened soon. It's in the middle of nowhere, but I guess keep an eye on that space. We decided to go up to Dion's Lookout. I'd been there before for lunch on a trip to Birdsville, but I didn't know why it was called Dion's Lookout. Apparently a young fella crashed his chopper somewhere in the area.
I think he was a 20-year-old helicopter pilot. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but the local community rallied together to do this lookout for him.
We rock up there, and unknowingly, there's a couple of rat bags underneath a zone caravan lid and having a few beers and waiting for us.
I'll tell you what, it was funny, you know, driving up to Dion's Lookout. I've been there plenty of times too, seen it change a lot over the years. I've never actually got there and found people I know.
Hey fellas!
Hey mate!
Hey,
I thought this might happen,
hey.
eh?
You're not supposed to
Mate,
dust
but-
us up, eh?
It's been a couple of days, but we couldn't leave you, eh? We wanted to come and hang out in the Channel Country. We heard them talking about Batuta, so we actually went to Batuta, but no one was there, so we saw the Dions lookout sign, went up there for a bit of a kick around, and we actually saw them coming up the road, so we thought, hang out here for a while and see what they got to say, see whether they invite us along.
I knew this would happen.
Can you fit us in? Surely. Perfect. Oh, we'll just follow the white one.
Invite / they didn't have an option because we were just going to follow them. We were coming anyway. It was all in the right direction.
We thought, oh, I guess we can take them along on another trip.
Great bunch of blokes to travel with, so yeah, you know, come on boys, you can buy the coffee.
Bring the coffee machine with you.
Yeah, we got beer. Yeah, we can make you a frappa latte if you want, almond sprinkles.
Oh, that's just made my day. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's great, guys.
Let's do it.
It was good to see them. So yeah, they were no trouble. We said, tag along behind us, come along, we'll show you some stuff.
Hey, Matt, Dave. Great to have you back in Convoy with us, mate. We missed you.
Yeah, felt a bit sad the last couple of days. It's good to see you boys again.
I sort of had a feeling this might happen.
Yeah, well, at least we've got someone to make our coffees now.
Awesome. I'll tell you what, it's just the more the merrier. Let's go do some exploring.
Where are we off to?
Haddon's Corner.
Ah,
We'll be able to jump into South Australia and then jump back into Queensland.
yeah, well, that's the point, isn't it, eh? I have no idea why my family put a plaque out here for it. I'd heard about this many years ago. I thought, yeah, I'll get to Haddon Corner one day, you know. Glen Haddon Corner, it's sort of just fitting.
Haddon Corner is one of those places that should be on everybody's must-visit list, because when they leave there, they can tell people, I went to Haddon Corner, you should go too. And then the joke's on the next person, because when they get there, there's nothing there.
There's a book out there, a few monuments, not much of anything else really.
There you go, mate. South Australia, Queensland! Are you glad you finally made it to your corner?
Yeah, mate, yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, you're pretty impressed, Haddon Corner?
Yeah.
We all wrote in the book, so people will know we've been there.
I think if Glenn was to make a corner, that's pretty much what it'd be. A fence and a post.
Not only is there nothing out here to see, not even a pub, they spelt it wrong. There was a few spelling errors when they put the plaque there, so that was my reason to go there.
All right, well, now we've been here and rocked on, let's go to Windora. Come on.
Mate, I'll catch up with you. It won't be long.
Okay, mate,
Got
whatever.
something to do. Right, John, good to come now, mate. That's better.
We left Haddon Corner on the way to Windora and right on sunset. It's like, that's my favourite time of day. I've probably said that a million times.
One of the things that you probably most appreciate about any trip in the Channel Country is the way sunrise and sunset is such a big part of your day.
The dust was billowing from the car and the caravan. It would have been an absolute, I reckon you see it from space, absolute spectacle. The sun pushing, blowing through the dust, one for the memory bank.
That long drive to Windora will be one of those drives that's in my memory forever. Loved it.
Windora, on the left-hand side, there's about 4 big, they look like satellite dishes. They're in the shape of satellite dishes, but they're actually solar. And essentially they're turning the sun's energy into power. And I wouldn't be surprised, I don't know this for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is the only energy source they have to run that town, because there's not a great deal of stuff in that town to run, so it wouldn't need a great deal of power like a massive town. So yeah, at least they're using renewable energy. Yeah, it's good to see. Yeah, so we were blasting along the highway and came up to a big, long concrete bridge, nice and wide, plenty of room, and it crosses Cooper Creek.
The Cooper Creek crossing out of Windora, I've been across that many a time, and it's always been a dust bowl. Much to our surprise, you can see the smile on my face, it was chock-a-block full of water. And there was even green grass shoots on the side of the river. There's people camped there.
So that means that the Channel Country, its lifeblood is working. There's still water coming into the area, so that works for all the farmers and works for all the wildlife as well, because the wildlife's drawn to the water, and the water is the lifeblood of the Channel Country. So it's great to see.
It was like, yeah, the country is alive. Go Cooper Creek.
What do you reckon, Wolfie? I don't know where the other lads are, but I heard from the publican last night, mate. You might have heard too. I don't remember. You're a bit off your face. Probably don't remember much at all, but in this river system that we're going to be following, there's supposed to be plenty of yabbies.
The Kenno-Wolfie relationship, well, it works for him. It's a stuffed toy, and you make your own judgment whether you think he's a good actor or not.
The whole town has sold out of yabby traps, mate. Gone.
Hey, I can relate to anyone relating to a dog like they're a human, you know? And to be honest, I relate to my dogs a lot better than I relate to some humans, and they probably relate better back to me. The fact that Wolfie is actually sort of polyester stuffed with some form of fibre doesn't seem to affect Kenno at all.
I asked the lady if I could grab a couple of milk crates, make our own yabby traps. What do you reckon, bud? Good idea, you reckon?
What do you mean? He's just a stuffed dog. He's a real dog.
Let's do this, brother. You come up with a plan of attack, make a yabby trap out of milk crates, and I'll concentrate on driving. One job, champ. So there you go.
I think some of the replies he gets might be a bit, you know, outstanding, but apart from that, hey, Kenno is what Kenno is.
Yeah, the road between Windora and Welford National Park was beautiful. You could just scoot along at a nice pace, no corrugations, very safe.
Welford National Park is, it's not on most people's list. It's one of those places that you've got to travel a bit to get there. But now that they've sealed the roads in and out, or for the most part sealed them, we're going to be seeing a lot more people out there.
Sure, it was brown, but in the distance you could see this is the start of the Channel Country, because there was parts of green everywhere. You can see where the little estuaries had water in them, or have water in them still. There was little billabongs open, there was cows. They looked healthy as.
But I think Welford is going to build a bit of a reputation for one of those just perfect camping places.
How's the green? I reckon we're going to find a great camp spot. Green grass and water.
Oh, sign us up for that.
We actually got in a bit early into camp, which never happens really.
When you come across campsites like we did at the Barcoo River, you savour those, because we are in the arid outback. But the Barcoo River was full, the campsites were green, the wildlife was alive, the bird life was just amazing.
When we pulled up in Welford next to the Barcoo, well, I had a bit of a moment there, to be honest. I had to, I got my stretcher out, I started to set up my camp. I wound up just lying back on the stretcher, just watching the birds in the trees and, you know, looking at the river, and it took me back. I love a good brown river. Truth be known, I probably did nap off a little bit, but it was so peaceful next to the Barcoo that, yeah, even with everyone bustling and hustling around, I just slipped away.
Yeah, amazing little spot actually. It was a beautiful outlook.
Yeah, so the boys have talked me into cooking tonight. So I thought I'd do something a bit different. I'm gonna make pulled lamb and I'm gonna make a salsa, a hot salsa, to put on top of it. All right, so this is the easy bit, prepping the lamb. Now, my trivet's gone missing, so I need this lamb to stay off the bottom of the camp oven because I want it to steam rather than cook from the bottom. That's how you get the tenderness, so you can pull the lamb. So you make your own trivet. That there will about do the job. Now the lamb, leg roasts. Now we do some stabbing. It just allows all the moisture and everything to get in. Then some crushed garlic. Push your garlic into those holes. Whack that one side of the camp oven so it's not touching the bottom. Same with the other one. Whack him in the other side of the camp oven. Look at that. Spray it with a heap of olive oil. Got the fire going already over there, ready for coals. Gonna need lots of coals. Then you need your salt and pepper. Now, this is the essential part. This is what's gonna make it slow cook. Moisture, so it steams the meat rather than roasting it. So it'll beer in the bottom, and that won't touch the meat because we've put that alfoil in there to keep the meat off the bottom. And that's just gonna steam off. Doesn't really matter what type of beer you use. Lid on, and now campfire will do the rest. A couple of hours, and that roast will be ready to pull apart. And in the meantime, I'll make the salsa. Every salsa needs a bit of onion. They don't have to be too finely chopped because they're gonna get cooked down. So that can go straight into the pan. That's our base of our salsa. Everything else is pretty much in jars. Got some jalapenos here. Just give them a little slice and dice. Then we've got some chili, finely chopped chili, corn kernels, diced tomatoes, tomato paste, bit of capsicum in there. Starting to look a bit like a salsa. Some whole peeled tomatoes. Now I was thinking about putting a bit of corn relish in there to add a bit of sweetness. Garlic, some olive oil. Now just salt and pepper. Mix all that together and it should start looking like a bit of a salsa. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bang this on some heat and heat it up. Basically just make those onions translucent and serve it hot on top of the pulled lamb, and she should be apples.
One thing Kenno can do is cook. I'm pretty fortunate on these trips that the two chaps that I travel with are very good cook and they cook with flavour.
Oh mate, I think any nice cut of meat and a slow cooking in a camp oven's gonna produce some pretty good stuff. Not that Matt was that interested, but that was probably one of my highlights. I love a burrito and he got it just right.
When you look at a map of the Channel Country, and indeed when you look at a map of Australia, you see all these blue lines interwoven all the place. It's a little bit deceptive because they're not blue, they're brown. They're brown on a good day when they're full of water, they're brown on a bad day when they're not. And those days can be years apart. It's an incredible thing, and it happens because our country out here is so flat. Channel Country is amazingly flat. But what do you get from that? You get rain somewhere else, another state, whatever, that eventually collects and winds up flowing through these mighty rivers. This is the Barcoo, there's the Bulloo, the Diamantina, eventually there's the Darling, there's the Murray. We've got wonderful, wonderful river systems in this country, and they are the life and soul of the country. If you come out here in the morning, all you hear is birds. You'll see birds mating in the trees, you'll see animals coming in for an early morning drink. You'll see little movements in the water that indicate something else is happening down there too. This is the lifeblood of Australia. This is a river in the Australian bush, in the Channel Country. And the feeling of connectivity with the rawness of nature is just incredible. Just come and give it a go. Well guys, that was one of the nicest campsites I've ever stayed at. Just so peaceful, so majestic, so beautiful, and sort of, I don't know, invigorating at a soul level or something. Beautiful.
It was, mate, it was beautiful. Just sitting on the edge of the river there this morning, bird life was going crazy, the sun was coming up, just enjoying a nice hot coffee, having a good conversation, and just a great camp spot. I'd rank that one. It's up in my top 10 for sure.
Yeah, certainly ticked all my boxes, and pretty tough leaving this morning.
Yeah, it's just nice to see a big volume of water out here at the moment. The river's certainly got plenty of water in it, but best part about that camp was your dinner last night, Kenno, mate. That thing was spot on.
The company was magnificent too, gentlemen. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I'm ready to go and do some trekking.
We'd left the Barcoo out in this country because it's so flat, you know, you pick up the tree line. So there's a big spare paddock to one side, no fences, and obviously a line of greenery and some bigger trees running through it, which signifies water or something like it. All we needed was a bit of shade, and it was just magic. There was shade, there was water, there was trees. Just a lovely spot, and I guess it's that contrast that really nails this kind of country.
Because you're sort of driving through nothing, and all of a sudden that what looks like a man-cut stretch of water, it's obviously natural. It's just sitting there full of water, and there's life everywhere, birds and trees. And
Traditionally, the Channel Country is dry and dusty, but we've come across this billabong. This is more my style. Nature at its best. It's just green grass. There's birds chirping. There's nests of birds in all these trees. This is my style of camping and travelling. I love nature, love the sound of birds, and I love water and green grass. This is very relaxing.
There was pelican feathers everywhere, so that obviously been there. We might have scared them off. There was a few ducks. I took the opportunity to quickly throw a yabby trap in it, the off chance that I might get a yabby.
no yabbies,
Minimal yabbies.
zero yab.
Yabbies there. I think the problem was that someone had already caught all the yabbies before I got there, potentially.
I'm used to this, travelling with people that can't catch fish.
It's definitely nothing wrong with my technique. Like, it can't be. That's technique is second to none. So I think what's happened is the professional yabbiers have come in and poached the whole area.
I'm still a little bit trying to understand one of his concepts, which was a milk crate, but I saw a yabby and it's about that big, and I saw the holes in a milk crate and it's about that big, so.
It's a two-way yabby trap.
Not sure how that thing's gonna work that
Easy
great.
in, easy out.
Guys,
Kenno,
has anybody seen Wolfie, my dog?
the real one or for that bloody stuff thing?
I don't know what you're talking about, mate. There's only one Wolfie, the real one. He's not in his spot where he sits during the day while we're travelling. He's not in the car. Did anyone see him get out at the last waterhole or anything?
Check behind your seat.
Yeah, what is it about Kenno and Wolfie? Like, he's legitimately lost Wolfie, which I don't think that's possible. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to be in the car there somewhere.
Is he known for wandering off?
Often he can go for a wander and look for a bit of tucker, or he might even be trying to come up with some ideas to catch some of them bush crabs, because I did give him a few jobs.
Well, we had no idea what was going on. We just thought the dog had gone. We thought that someone else wanted the teddy bear more than Kenno.
Well, I do know who took it,
What?
and I do know which car Wolfie jumped into.
And he'll come back. I hope he comes back. He usually does. He should be right.
Wolfie told me not to tell anyone. He'd actually had an absolute gut full of riding with Kenno through the Simpson, and he said, I've got to get out of here.
Seeing a connection with people that can't catch fish and people that believe the teddy bear are real.
We're on the way to Hell Hole Gorge. The roads have been freshly graded and they were on the map, but the bull dusting areas was out of this world. The powder on the rear partial tray of my 200, that thick. The dust was that thick, would hit the blanket on the front of the caravan and bounce back to the window, and it was just like getting a shovel and just get shovel loads and throwing you against the back window. Mind-blowing experience. I've driven through bull dust before, but this was like talcum powder. Even if you can get finer than talcum powder, give me the name for it, that's what this was.
This Hell Hole Gorge National Park is gaining a whole lot of altitude. It looks like it's 60, 70 metres higher than anything we've had coming into it. Vegetation's different, the whole place is different. This is an adventure.
This is, mate. I'm looking forward to it because I reckon this place would change every time a bit of rain, a bit of flood water comes through here. So this is where the adventure begins. And hopefully, I see on the map there's a water hole, so I'm hoping it's full of yabbies. So that'd be very nice.
Yeah, the track coming in full on dusty, but to come to this track that, like you said, hasn't been used for a long time is adventurous.
Like you said, Gleno, that track on the way in was super dusty. Your whole back of your caravan's covered in about an inch of it, but certainly looking forward to getting there and getting a nice campsite, hopefully near some water like Gleno said.
Hell Hole Gorge, we got there and we'd been doing a few rock climbs and step ups and step downs and things like that. And then it was almost like the rocks had just fallen away and just dropped into a massive hole, almost like a sinkhole. But it was full of water and there was ghost gums growing out of it. It was just like Australia in that, just a perfect picture, postcard picture of Australia right in that one place.
It's a geological accident that is just magnificent to reflect on, you know? Everything changes once again. Presence of water, but this time clear water, clean water, beautiful rocks, it's an underground spring, it's all happening there. It's a glorious morning here, it really is. It deserves a glorious breakfast. What we're going to do here is kind of a gourmet breakfast made up out of stuff available at the last garage, which is how come we've got maple flavoured syrup instead of the real thing, but we do have some pancake mix, we've got some great bacon, and they had bananas, which are just on the turn, so perfect for what we're about to do. Basically, this is going to be banana pancakes with bacon and maple syrup, possibly a little bit of sour cream if one of the guys can find it. Okay, so it kicks off, rough cut bacon, lots of fat, really good. Gleno's going to do this for me over in the hot pot on the fire. Just give it heaps. Okay. crunchy. And because that's normally where I hang out, and this is where Gleno hangs out, I'm going to take advantage of him being over there to hop into the van and do a bit of the cooking on their lovely stove in there. But before we get there, we'll just chip up these bananas. You can do this any way you want, you know, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go for length. Now the whole trick to this is to lightly fry the banana, and I will lightly fry it in a little bit of butter and oil, which sort of brings out the best in a bananery, if you know what I mean. A little bit of oil, a little bit of butter, genuine butter please, come on, don't muck around. And a plate of bananas, time to head for the van. Oh boy, talk about a Roothy out of his environment in here. If we owned this, the handbrake wouldn't even let me cook inside. Probably be lucky to even get inside, to be honest. But anyway, take advantage of it. Gleno's out around the fire. This is a beautiful stove. It's got plenty of heat, which is a good thing to cook our half bananas. Give it a little bit of a swizzle. You don't need to give the bananas too much, just enough to get them looking a little yellowy, which is kind of nice. Righto, I'm just going to duck out, knock up some pancake mix, see how Gleno's going on with the bacon. Then we'll do a bit of an assembly. Probably back here in the beautiful, pristine white zone van. Okay, a little bit of oil, hot pan, a little bit of butter. One thing I have noticed, especially amongst young blokes, is not knowing when to flip a pancake, and that's pretty easy. What you're looking for is the bubbles coming up through the pancake. And when the bubbles start to come up in the middle, that's when you're right to go. Don't fill the whole pan, you'll make it too hard to flip. Okay, see they're starting to got a few bubbles coming up. We want a lot more. Oh, it's nearly ready. Just a little bit more. Okay, that's it. Over she goes. Now it doesn't take too long because all you're doing now is browning up the other side. It's already cooked. That means we need the bacon. Here we go now. This is our construction. This is how we're going to do it. Pancake. Put some bacon, some banana on the pancake, like that. And then a little bit of bacon, like that. And then balance it there. Whoa! Big shot of maple syrup. Now what have we got here? Well, we've got the fruity taste, almost sweet, of banana, cooked banana with butter. We've got the savoury taste of the bacon. We've got the sweet taste of maple syrup. And one more savoury little taste, sour cream. You put a dob of sour cream on the side because sour cream is a bit of an acquired taste. You know, anyone's going to eat that. That's going to be gorgeous. The sour cream for some people will just make it work really well. Okay, should we go and see if Kenno wants a feed? Because I think Glenn's already been eating the bacon. Ooh, I'll make you one right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that honey or
No,
is that maple syrup?
It's artificial maple syrup from the garage. So
Oh, that banana is so sweet. And the bacon just sets it off.
I don't have much of a sweet tooth, so I was thinking, yeah, pancakes, yeah, I'll roll one up and eat it and sort of leave it at that. But put bacon on it, maple syrup, there was sour cream and bananas. It all together just worked. It was beautiful. And I slammed that down real quick.
As much as Roothy's a throw it all together type of cook, he cooked a good handful of times on this trip, and I can safely say I wasn't disappointed by any of his meals and his pancakes. I've never really had that American style sweet and savoury thing going on, but that was sharp.
I love banana cooked. It brings out that sweetness, so all those flavours together, it was like a slippery slide.
Where are we off to, mate? Any idea?
No idea. Hopefully we find a campsite as good as last night's, if not better, but that's going to be pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, I reckon that was something special, wasn't it? The rock pools are out of this world. How'd you score on the yabbies?
Got a few little merit in the trap, but I gave it a catch and release. I wished them all the best and told them to grow up and come back to the traps when they get a bit bigger. But I think I've lost my good luck charm. Old Wolfie's taken a bit of a walk. Haven't seen him since we were Twindora. He might have caught a sniff of a bitch on heat and air, but usually he comes back, so hopefully he shows up and then my luck will come back on the yabby front.
We've probably been pushing it a bit with all our good campsites. Just keep becoming better and better. We're getting good at this.
Certainly something we're not used to back home, that sort of campsite. The drop-offs is spectacular. I loved it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to jump out of your swag in the middle of the night for a leak and walk in the wrong direction, would you? But anyway, let's push on and see where this track goes. We might find something even better.
It's going to be a good day, boys.
The road we went through in Guyere was a gazetted road, but we weren't too sure where we were going to end up because the main road out of Hell Hole was a right-hand turn and the road we decided to take was a left-hand turn, driving into the unknown. And it was worth it because they'd obviously had a drop of rain and it was very green and there was flowers popping up everywhere. There was white flowers and yellow flowers and it looked magnificent. It was just a cattle property, no real obstacles. There was a couple of little creek beds and things like that, but it was just nice to look at. It was a nice drive.
Well lads, we are not too far off this spot I'm taking you to camp tonight. I hope it's as good as I remember, otherwise I could be leading you up the garden path.
I couldn't see you leading us up the garden path there, Kenno. Come on, mate, just give us a little hint. We got some water, a bit of nice green grass, you know, just give us something.
I reckon there'll be oxygen and a couple of trees.
What about little lobbies?
Oh, I don't know about the lobbies for this one, mate. I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, to be honest, I'm actually just looking for my dog.
Oh, he's missing you, mate.
We made it to Mariala and we just camped on the side of the road, nice and high, 360-degree views. Rocky ground, not a little bit of dust, not a lot of dust, come away from the talcum powder. Just another instance of diversity here in the Channel Country. Not dirt, not dust, not clay, not boggy, pebble. You want to see diversity? Get out to the Channel Country.
It's funny, isn't it? You know, there's national parks of all sizes and descriptions and levels of authority and control and all the rest of it. Mariala, someone has just essentially put a bit of a boundary around the one and only hill in all that part of the country. And it's like, I don't know what it was, 360 metres or something. So it's only a couple of hundred metres higher than the rest of the country. It was just a wonderful place.
You really got to get out to the outback yourself to experience the night. You look up into those stars. Even if you're not into that sort of thing, I guarantee you'll be into this. It's mind-blowing. You can't stop your mind just thinking about what's out there, because it's not like, you know, the major planets that we're taught about at school. It's millions, and they're clear as crystal.
Well, if you think you've seen a night sky and you've never really looked at one out in the west of Queensland or out in the outback, you've missed out, because the reality is the air out here is absolutely pure. It's pristine. And so that stuff right there is never going to get any clearer. There's a reason why the Yanks want to build all their spotters here and everything else. You know, the rest of the world wants to come to Australia to see the stars. And that's why, because we can see them better out there than anybody. The best thing about the last day of this trip, leaving Mariala and coming to this forest outside of Roma, is that, like all the other days in the Channel Country, it involved travelling a heap of miles, because people forget that's what this part of the country is all about, distance.
Channel Country was an experience, put it that way. Travelled bang straight through it many a time. Never looked around the Channel Country before. OMG, this is where it's at.
Kenno and I, every morning up before the sun, watching the sun come up, Kenno makes me a coffee. We sit there, it's just glorious, you know? And with Gleno around, I just have to mention a tiny little mechanical issue and all of a sudden I've got someone I can talk to on an expert level.
Well, I guess, yeah, it was going to be tricky, I thought, initially, because there's three tight guys that have travelled extensively together, and, you know, you're almost trying to break into a friendship group at school. But then once they got over the fact that I didn't eat meat, actually, they didn't ever get over that, did they? No. Yeah, that was tough. But otherwise, the camaraderie was great. You know, they're knowledgeable. You know, they're as friendly as they appear. They've helped us out a lot with, I guess, a couple of things that we've had going on. You know, I think my greatest hope for the trip was to really come along and, you know, explore and to learn from these guys. And we've definitely done both of those things in spades. So, yeah, it's been great. It's been nice to sit around the fire and hear some stories, you know, particularly Roothy reeling off some of his exploits.
Yeah, I think it is more important that Wolfie shows up than it is to get yabbies, I reckon. I'd give the yabbies a miss if Wolfie would come back. Hey! Oh, mate, where you been? Hey, what's that? All right, buddy. We better get you in a warm swag. You look like you need a bit of rest. Good to see you again, boy.
Well, we started in Birdsville, far west Queensland, all the way to Roma, through beautiful Channel Country, through billabongs, Kenno catching no yabbies, dusty locations, but beautiful campsites. This was one epic trip. Now it's time for a beer. Well done, lads. Good trip.
locked in. Okay, gents, clap.
You got your passport?
You know who's locked in, don't you?
Passport.
Me, buddy.
Passport, please.
Stay there.
Passport,
Stay there.
passport, please.
Hey, Kenno, haven't you got trademarking on that?
Oh,
Z-boys rolling. Action. Oh, that's cut. How do you do action? Is that like action?
It's just the action tool.
No, you don't do any hand signals. You just cut it.
It must be an action signal.
Couldn't do it without one.
Noisy.
Oh, is that? Why is it so purple?
He's choking it.
Yeah, so I once knew this farmer. His name was Ken, and used to go on his property and do a bit of hunting. And every time we'd go there, he'd say, "See them bloody emus, you get them bastards, the fence-wrecking bastards."
It's out of my hat. Okay. You sit there and be a good boy.
Get back there, behave yourself. Hey, Kenno. Hey, Woofy, did you let that fly in? You're a naughty boy, Woofy. Hey? What do you want for dinner tonight? Yeah, Woofy? Dude, what's going on? Oh, Woofy. Oh, man, you can't do that, Makar. That is disgusting. Get out. Have your bloody dog back.
It's my strong hand. My strong hand. This is my strong hand.